What's going on, guys? Here recently I was trying to use my Traeger and I noticed that it was not getting up to temp. It was staying in the low temp zone, and it ran and ran and ran. The auger ran and ran and ran, and this thing was getting really hot. So that immediately told me that it's not reading the temperature sense. The sensor probe on the inside is probably not reading accurately. So I figured I would go ahead and try and replace this thing and see if that fixes my issue. I did find a generic, and this might be the actual one. It looks very much similar to the one on the Traeger site. And I would have bought it from the Traeger site, honestly, but they were all sold out because there was only like a $4 difference between this one and what they sell on their site. And then I wouldn't doubt if it's the same item, to be honest with you. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and replace the probe on my Traeger and see if that fixes the issue. This is the 7-inch probe that goes with the Pro Series 34, and they do make, I think, like a 2-inch probe as well for like the smaller units. So let's get in on this and get this thing fixed. Okay guys, first and foremost, there are 2 screws holding this thing in place, and there are nuts underneath that are holding the screws on. Just going to take this is a 3/8 inch wrench. I'm just going to use it to hold the screw in place. Okay, that one's loose. We'll do the other one. You know what? Let me get this rack out too. Let's get this other one out. And once it's loose enough, you can just use your hands, your fingers. Pretty sooted up from all the cooks I've done on this thing. Alright, one beauty is they have this little tray piece here that the drip tray lays on, but when you drop screws or whatever, they just fall right there, so that's kind of nice as well. So there's one. Let's get the other one off. Alright, just setting these aside. I may just reuse these, although the new probe does come with 1 nut and 1 screw, which doesn't make sense since there's 2 holding this one on. So I'm just going to repurpose these. Nothing wrong with them at all, just a little dirty. Alright, so there's that. So now we got to do one other thing. We have to take this control panel out, this main controller. I had to get a screwdriver that had a little more grab to it. There we go. And make sure your Traeger's unplugged before doing any of this. Nothing like getting shocked, right? Now, see, I don't have any wiggle. I have no wiggle room because they've got zip ties under here holding the wires together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath and get those zip ties real quick. Okay, there was one massive zip tie. There's one massive zip tie under there holding the wires together, so I just clipped it. I'll replace it with a new one when I'm done with all this. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Oh, look at that. Okay, so some Traeger units, this will be blue, mine's green, but this is where the temperature probe plugs into right here. So I'm just going to take my screwdriver and loosen these up just a smidge, just to get those loose. And that's it. Got one, got them through. Okay, pull these probe ends on through the little hole in here. Okay, so we officially have the old probe out. Bye bye, old probe. You're junk to us. Let's add the new probe. Okay, now we just do the reverse of what we did to get this out. So, now we gotta take the new one, which I kind of don't like. Let's see how it's like taped together. So like this could be fun getting it through that little hole. Let's see. Alright, got it through. You know, the more I think about it, I don't really need the string, because it's just going to go straight. I'll show you why here in a minute, why I decided I don't need that string at all. Okay, I didn't need to worry about the string after all, because on my Traeger, I don't know about everybody else's, but on the Pro Series 34, the only holes that I have to worry about fishing through are on the sidewall here, which was easy to get to from the inside of one side and on the other, and mainly just through the top hole and then through the side hole, which were both easy for me to get my big hands in there. So anybody should be able to get in there if I can. And then it simply just goes down in between, directly under, and then up inside this box. So yeah, didn't really have to worry about fishing it. But apparently some models you do need like a string or something tied to your probe so that you can get it through. So no headaches there for me. Let's go ahead and mount the probe back. Alright. This is the part that sucks when you have big hands. These little tiny screws. But the gods are smiling on me today because this is working out fine. All right, she's in there good. All right, now that we've gotten that on through, I'm going to pull some of this slack out. Way too much slack. I'm just going to use one of these bread ties, if you will, that they gave me. And we're going to kind of bundle this up together to kind of emulate or kind of mimic what they had going on. And just put it in between like they did. I'll reach up inside. Grab the wires like so. I'm just going to put them back in here, these two clamps. You back them up a little more. All right, there she goes. Just push it on back in there. Go ahead and put the controller screws back in. And that's it, guys. One thing left to do is just zip tie the wires back together underneath and fire this baby up and see if this probe works. So we'll get back to you in a second. All right, let's fill the hopper up with some just some hard apple, just some apple pellets I've had around. Just a few, not a ton. All right. Let's kick it on. Set it to smoke. All right, so it's going to take a few minutes for these pellets to get smoking, because like I burned everything out of this grill, cleared the auger completely before I even messed with all this, and so it's going to take a few minutes for that auger to push those pellets on down into that fire pot. So we'll wait until it starts smoking, and then we'll see where the temp is. I'm hoping this new probe is my problem, because I don't know what else it could be. So anyways, I cleaned the grill up real nice too. I mean, I gave it a nice clean out and everything, vacuumed it out real good. Just try to get it all nice and presentable again. I haven't used it in a few months because I've been using the master built, and I've been using my griddle, and I've been, so I've really just been using the master built a lot, but I still do like to use this grill once in a while. So anyways, we'll get back here in a moment. Okay guys, so we got smoke pouring out of the Traeger, so I'm gonna crank this thing to 225, close the lid and see if we get the 225 and hold around there. All right, I got it set to 225. We'll see how it goes. All right guys, so I got the new probe in. I got the Traeger fired up max temp. Right now, it's hovering about 350 degrees on the probe, reading for the Traeger. I also have my Inkbird out here and it's reading at 342, so not too far off, but the Traeger is actually having a hard time getting up to the high temp, and I don't know if it's because I'm using some old pellets or what. Maybe you can chime in below and let me know why this thing struggles to get the temp currently, because I hear the auger running, fans blowing, and there's a good fire in the fire pot. And I've got this thing dialed up to max temp that it can go, but right now it's at 352 degrees. Let's look at this. All right, because of my shutter speed and everything, it's gonna appear that this is flashing, which it's not. It's just shutter speed and the digital refresh on the readout here. But right now this says 356. My Inkbird says 345. So there's a difference there between the two thermostats, or between the two thermometers, but that's okay because I just wanted to make sure that my new probe was reading similar to the Inkbird, and it is. It's within like 12 degrees of each other. So like I said, I got this thing maxed out. It's burning away. For the naysayers out there, I have my Inkbird probe right next to the new probe in there, so they're not spread apart or anything. They're within the vicinity of each other. Let's see if I can brighten it up. That's better. You can see my Inkbird probe. It's right next to the other probe, so they're should be reading pretty close to the same. But seems like the Traeger's fired up fine and going. I think I just need to get some newer pellets. I think these old pellets have moisture in them a little bit, and they're not generating as much heat as I would like. So that all being said, I'm happy to see that the new probe is reading, because the old probe wouldn't read above like 200 degrees. It was you could tell there was something wrong with it. So now got the new probe in, and I'm planning on doing a beef jerky video here soon on the Traeger Pro Series 34. So stay tuned for that, and appreciate your time, guys. Cheers.